Oh boy,
It's a
we're we're back
it's a
at
new
it.
year.
It is a new
Yes, we
year,
are.
and we've been absent for a while, but here we are. Uh,
Yes.
tell the people where you are. I'm obviously back in my
I
office.
yes, I am. I am here, complete with my nice little heater here in Gallup, New Mexico. If you want to know where that is, lose that interest, that desire, because there's no reason for you to know where Gallup, New Mexico is.
Of course.
But I'm away from home. I'm doing a basement remodel project while I'm here with a friend of mine, and so these aren't my headphones. This isn't my room, but here I am in full
And
glory. It is a new year. It's been quite a minute since we've been on here.
It has. It has. We some things have changed in our lives a little bit. Not really for me. My job is the same, and my house is the same. My family's pretty much the same. But I added a dog during about 8 months ago, and he loves me, but sometimes he's kind of loud. So if you hear a dog whining in the background, that would be what that is.
I also, for Christmas, we received a Christmas puppy from Santa, and he's 11 weeks old, same breed as yours, and so we both have a Bouvier, a Belgian Bouvier.
We're gonna have to talk about Bouviers at some point.
We will. But he's 11 weeks old, and he's a good boy as well. He doesn't whine for me quite yet, but when I get home, maybe if I'm not up in my office, he might.
Right. So my dog is named Duke. He's black and massive,
And mine is Brutus, and he will be more massive, but he is a fawn color, so he's more of a whitish,
right.
Light brown. So
Okay. So as you know, this is Two Brothers Talk. We talk about random topics, and it's my turn to pick. And my brother doesn't know what we're going to talk about. And I thought, since we're in a new year, right? And since we here in Colorado just recently got a bunch of snow, and we just went through just a very small polar vortex, I thought we should talk about what temperature do you set your thermostat to in the winter and the summer? Okay?
what a great topic!
I thought so. Because there is a lot of controversy on what makes sense, right? You don't want to set especially in the winter. You don't want to set it too high because you don't want to pay for the heating bill. But you don't want to set it so low that you have to wear a sweater all the time. Although some people do. Some people do.
Yeah, and it's usually the case that one of the people in the couple is the hot one, and the other one is the cold one.
It is always the case.
Well,
100%.
I don't know why we can't find wives or people that like the same things that we do all the time. But there is a lot to this topic, and unfortunately we're not going to cover all of it because our videos are never that long because we don't want people to lose interest. You people, we don't want you to lose interest.
Right.
But there's a lot to do with it.
So
go ahead.
Here's my thought. I was thinking, since I live kind of in a colder climate, and you live a little bit in a warmer climate, you should probably talk about the air conditioning side of things.
Okay, I can do that.
Although, we can both talk about it, but
yeah. Let's do that. So you start with the cold, and
All
then
right.
I'll give a little input, and then we'll go to me.
I'll just tell you what we set our thermostat to both seasons, right?
Why don't you first explain the year, make, and model of your house and windows?
Okay. So
because I think that's fair to say.
I have a house that was built in 2018. Therefore, and it was built by one of these cookie cutter builders who it's a race to the bottom as far as quality goes.
I hope you didn't come in first.
I didn't come in first, but I did not come in last. That's for sure. I do have double pane windows, which are not my favorite, but that was the only option offered by the builder. I actually wanted triple pane argon filled, but I didn't get that. And I have two
units.
HVAC units in my home, so that's both heating and air conditioning. One upstairs, one downstairs, and that's better because it helps to then neither one has to work as hard as they would if it was a single unit. We have a lot of air leaks in this house, a lot. When it gets cold, things move. I get gaps. I get a gap underneath my front door that I can see through. And so sometimes if it gets really cold, we'll throw a towel or something in front of it. The windows, if you sit in front of one of the windows, you can feel the cold air just rolling in. So this is going to become an insulation conversation, but we're going to try and keep it on a thermostat conversation.
Okay.
So,
all right.
In the winter, our thermostat is set to 68 degrees.
What are for the people on here that don't know, all of our thousands of subscribers, what do you give people an idea of what the weather is like in Colorado from September to February or March?
Variable is the best word, because
that is.
There have been lots of days in Colorado. This is a little secret.
Tell them about last week.
It's
a
little secret about Colorado. It's not as cold and snowy as everybody thinks it is. That being said, last week we definitely hit -20. It was chilly, but that was that polar vortex, right? Whatever that it basically means it's cold.
Yeah, they just make up words to tell you it's cold.
They need a new headline. So it was cold, but we have had in February recently, like last year, 70-degree days, and so it's really variable. But in the winter we set it to 68 degrees. We find that works well for our family. It's not on all the time. I run hot. I'm always too warm, and my wife is always cold.
Yeah.
So 68 works. She does sometimes wear a sweater, but yeah.
Okay. So for all intents and purposes, you have a brand new house. I mean, we're in 2023, just a few days in, and you have a brand new house that you have to put a towel by the front door and you feel it on the windows. And I think that is absolutely ridiculous that they even make a house like that. I think it's crazy. My vintage on my home is about 1995. They are also double paned, but they're cheaper double paned than yours.
But you're in Vegas.
I am in Vegas. And I have, when we moved in and the house was empty, I tinted the entire house because that is one of the many things that I do. And that has helped immensely with the temperature in the summer and with the temperature in the winter. It adds in Ohio, there are people, we've seen you and I, that put plastic in front of their windows. And they do that because they don't like that air coming in. And in Ohio, it gets down into the negatives as well.
It's a little ghetto.
It is. It is a little ghetto. So the more professional way to do it is have someone install window tint on your windows that adds a layer of plastic to help with that. And it does help with it, surprisingly enough. It only gets down to about 30 degrees in Vegas. That's positive with a plus. There is no negative in Vegas.
You hope.
Ever.
Oh, there's lots of negatives in Vegas.
Well, there are lots of negatives to Vegas, but not and in Vegas. Yeah. Anyway, so in the wintertime, in my house personally, we also will set our thermostat to 70 degrees.
70, not 68.
70. 2 degrees potato.
Makes a big difference.
I know it does to those that are really watching it all the time.
There are times when I know my wife is going to be cold that I will just, the upstairs thermostat, I'll just bump it up to 70 just for like 4 hours. Just so that when she goes to bed, she's like, oh, it's nice and warm up here.
Yeah, yeah. So we have 2 smart thermostats, a Nest upstairs and a Honeywell downstairs. For some reason, that's just what happened. And so I can control both of them from my phone. I can set schedules so they turn on and get to 72 right before my wife wakes up, and then 68 when we go to sleep, so we can sleep cooler, things like that. And so we help to regulate that as well. We also have 2 units up and down. I like them and I hate them. And that's a discussion for another time. But we're talking about the cold. I will say one thing. Well, one more thing on this matter. An interesting thing, and those of you watching, if you could tell us if there's anyone out there that does this, I would be interested, because I think I'm going to start it. We have an uncle who lives in Tennessee, and he has a smaller home with only 1 unit. But they run their blower, their fan, constantly, 24/7, 365. It never turns off. And they set their temperature. They set their temperature to whatever temperature they want. And the heater only kicks on when it needs to, because the temperature drops. But what I found, 1, I feel like the air is cleaner because it's cycling through more. 2, it's not loud, and I never feel like, but I always feel like there's movement, and I feel like the entire house, basement included, stays more the temperature that it should consistently, and I wonder if it's more efficient that way as well. To run a blower fan is not expensive, but to start up everything and have the temperature go down and then come back up and then go back down, I wonder if it circulates the air more efficiently to keep the thermostat thinking, okay, or to tell the thermostat, this is a warmer house more consistently. Avery, what are your thoughts on that? Because I think I want to try that. I think that might work. It may be different because we have 2 units, but my upper unit in the summer always runs more because all the heat rises. But if I keep the bottom unit running to blow the air, or keep the upper unit running with the fan all the time, what do you think that'll do?
Your 2 systems are not connected though, right? Your top and your bottom?
They're not. They're not.
So that's going to be your issues. So in a house with 1 unit, the cold air is going to come to the bottom, get into the return, get recycled up to the top. In a house with 2 units, that's not the case. The returns are top and bottom. So I have I have two different returns. I have 3 returns. I have a return in my the center of my house on the downstairs level, and then I have another return in the basement, right? So if I ran the blower on the downstairs unit, that would do something, because I would recycling colder air from the basement up into the first level. But if I ran my upstairs unit, it's just going to be recycling air that's upstairs. So the warm air that's upstairs will be recycled. I think it would help to moderate the temperature. You won't have the bigger swings. But with 2 units, it's going to be different than with 1.
Interesting. Yeah, and I was thinking that I'm wondering what to do, because I would like to make it more efficient. We can get into another talk about our values and walls and things like that. There's plenty to talk about, but for now, I think that's a good. Go ahead.
What is your temperature in the summer? Does it change?
Outside?
Inside.
Outside?
Inside.
Oh, 70.
Okay, so we change our temperature in the summer to 72.
Yeah, 70 to 72. That's a pretty standard range, I think. It feels like it's 65 in the summer when it's set to anything below 70.
Yeah, once you've been outside and you come in, you're like, oh,
it's cold here. But then in the wintertime, I'm like, 70. It's nice. It's perfect. It's exactly so. Our bodies change, and we all add extra in the wintertime.
Extra layers. I have extra insulation layers right now. Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, fun topic.
Anyway,
that's great.
That's thermostats. Kinda.
Yep. What do you guys do on yours? How do you guys set your thermostats? What kind of setup do you have? Let us know in the comments. That'd be great.
Welcome back to the channel. We're glad to be back. We're gonna try and get a couple more of these a little bit more often, so that there's more to see. But anyway, this is Two Brothers Talking, and we'll catch you on the next one.